any action, any decision that I try to take, I always take those decisions with like that structure in by the back of my head, where those that meet my criteria, my principles, yes, no matter what that is, because you can be tested for money, whatever that is. We want to be a place that is like welcoming. We want to be a place where like people like feel good. People are here, come here to like usually seeking for confidence.
What does a man do when he's going through heartbreak? What's your advice for the people that are watching? When somebody gets dumped by a girl or just things don't work out and they go their way, how does he get over the feeling?
My name is ILYA'S. I'm the founder and head coach of 161 Boxing Club. We are located on Queen and Spadina. Amazing facility and amazing team.
Welcome to another episode of the Punches and Prayers podcast. I'm your host today again, Manib, and we are here at 161 Boxing Club. I have the fortunate privilege to be sitting with the founder of this club, who was a trainer at another gym before, and him and a band of other brothers got together to build this gym. They have a very cool concept. I train here at this facility as well, and I love what they're trying to go, where they're trying to go with this gym. He's a person who has a lot of character, integrity, honesty, and he lives boxing and breathes boxing. Welcome to the show, ILYA'S.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum salam, brother.
Yeah, so for the audience that don't know who you are, what's your story? Where were you raised? How did you come to Canada? And how did we get here?
So, my story. I was born and raised in south of France.
Okay.
And so I've been doing like different kind of like martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing. So I started like really like martial arts when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And I've been training since then. I'm 30, soon 37.
Okay.
So I grew up like really like fighting, training.
In the streets?
To be honest with you, less in the street because I was already a fighter. I was already a fighter young, very young. I was already competing.
South of France is a lot of black people, no?
A lot of like Arab people, a lot of like black people, a lot of like a good mix.
It's a hood of France, no?
It's
for the people that are watching?
Let's say, yeah, like I come from like a small hood in south of France, but I come from like a beautiful place. I come from like an island between France and Italy. But like my neighborhood was like the...
So you were born in France?
Born and raised in France, background from Morocco.
Okay. So you have a French passport, basically?
A French passport, yeah.
Okay.
And French is my first language.
Tu parles français?
Je parle français très bien.
Okay, nice. So what made you decide to come to Canada?
I left France for the first time, I think it was 2010, 2011. So I moved to Australia. My goal at the time was to leave for a year, learn English, and my goal was to come back. And then like I just got at the time my like bachelor degree, and then I was supposed to do my master degree. And my goal was to learn English before I get back to school and start my master. And so when I moved to Australia, I started training over there. I was training mostly like Muay Thai and boxing. So after I think like 6 months over there, they offered me like an opportunity to turn pro. And so at the time I reached out to my family and I told them, listen, I have an opportunity to like make money here as a fighter. And my family was like, no. The plan is you come back and you finish your school. So come back and finish your school. And that's what I did.
Okay. So essentially, when you say Australia, whereabouts in Australia were you?
Melbourne.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 months in 2019.
Yeah.
One of my friends there has a solar company out there, and he invited me out there to train a lot of his reps out there, solar sales. Because you know how much solar is in Australia? It's insane. Right? So it's like the whole city, like Melbourne, Sydney. I didn't like Australia, bro, to be honest, brother. It's one of the worst places I was.
Where,
I would say, in
like
my
Melbourne?
experience, it was the worst place to live in the Western world. If I had to choose any of the Western countries I've been to, America, Canada, England, or any other places that are like the Western world, Germany, Australia was the worst.
Yeah, why?
There's nothing to do, bro. It's CBD Melbourne, Sydney, and a bunch of dead kangaroos in the middle.
Yeah.
On the highways, like you see more dead kangaroos on the highway than you see alive. People don't even know this.
I agree.
Like I went there and saw so much roadkill, and it's got a weird vibe, bro. Like there's nothing like the cars are really old. So Australian cars, like they don't get nice cars. Like over there, if you have like an E-Class, just base model, 5 years used, you're a rich guy. People don't know this. Like it's not like, you know how in the Western world, like France, all these other countries, there's nice cars. There's like, for example, France even nicer than here. But Australia is driving used Toyotas, used this, right-hand drive. I don't know, I just didn't like the vibe, bro. It was not my vibe, and I'm like the guy that I remember the multi-millionaire was a guy that was driving a used Porsche Cayenne. And like that's like people would check it like, oh look, Porsche is going. I'm like, whoa, that's like 2015.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, Melbourne was like a place at the time where like they had like pretty like nice cars and like
Yeah, but not as nice as like out here.
No, not as
Because duty is so
yeah.
heavy out there, right? I realize that the duty is so heavy that by the time cars get there, it's a 16-hour flight there, man. And the other thing is like it's secluded from the rest of the world.
It is.
Right? And then you have all these like crazy animals that can kill you. Like a spider bite can kill you. You see snakes going around in the summertime.
Many stories over there with like sharks or like crocodiles or snakes or spiders. So for me it was I liked it because that was the first time I was leaving France and I was ready to like see the world. Yeah. And I ended up like leaving Australia, going to Thailand, training in Thailand for like a month, and then went back to Australia.
Did you get Australian citizenship or no? Because it's very hard.
No.
It's hard to get a citizenship there.
It's very difficult to get and that was not my plan. My plan was really to get like a first experience abroad, learn about a new like culture, travel, and then come back and do my thing.
But you know how they even said, like I remember when I was growing up, they said that the Australian girls are beautiful. I didn't see any beautiful girls in the 2 months I was there, bro.
I did.
But not as much as you see other places, you know what I'm saying?
I know, you'd be surprised. I don't know where you went, but you'd be surprised, man.
But you know how they say, like I've been all over, like I went to the Gold Coast, I went everywhere, bro. And I was just like, yo, this country is a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, it's a sad reality that it's a huge country with populations only in 3 major cities, let's say, Perth or whatever. And then the rest is like nothing. Like if people think like Ontario's side cities are nothing, I'm like, buddy, wait till you go to Australia.
No.
If you really want to see nothing.
I drove from I went from Cairns all the way down to Brisbane, and I went to Sydney and different places. You take out like Melbourne and Sydney. Australia is very.
I like Sydney. If I had to vibe with the city, I love Sydney.
Sydney is beautiful.
Like if somebody says, okay, you have to live in Australia, I'm like, yo, if it's Sydney downtown, I'm living.
Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful, different vibe, but it's such a small. It's like one strip. It's like saying I went to Vegas. I'm like, yeah, but Vegas is a desert except one strip.
Yeah,
right?
You get that feeling over there. Where like I like Melbourne. I think Melbourne's a beautiful city, but like Melbourne and Sydney are two cities where like this is where it's happening. Outside of that, I feel like it's If you used to like North America, if you used to like big cities, if you used, it's
no comparison.
Yeah, no.
Right, so like I was there 2 months. I was supposed to be there much longer. I got so depressed. I just told my cousin, I'm like, buddy, men are under attack in the West, whether it comes to family courts, divorce, and custody. That doesn't have to be you. Find out how you could channel the best possible way to get through this. Sign up for my free ebook today, Masculinity Under Trial, Beating a System Built to Break You. I'll see you on the other side. It's good out here. Like money was great too. The money was amazing.
Money's
amazing. I'm like, bro, it's not about money. Like here, like I really realized how much I miss Canada. It was funny me saying that. Like, you know, it's funny that I even said that. Like, because Canada's whatever, right? But for me to say that there at that moment, I realized how good we have it here versus there. Because we were so excited. We took a whole team from here. I took a bunch of guys from here. Like, we're going to Australia, and we're like thinking we're gonna see blondes everywhere. We're gonna see some nice. It's gonna be a beautiful place. It's gonna be good. You know, the only thing I would say in positivity is the food quality is very high end over there. Milk, cheese, their beef, like it smells like real meat. Like like they don't use steroids. Their food quality was probably one of the best I've had.
Yeah. But like for me, like what was difficult over there is the fact that it was far from everything.
Correct.
And I come from Europe where like you can take a plane and everything is close.
Yeah, 1 hour London, 1 hour here.
You can do like you can be in London and then in Barcelona and then where like over there. It was far from everything, and my family was far too. So it was not easy to like get them there. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, I can't stay there. Yeah.
No, I get it, bro. 100% same. I just packed my bags. I came back, and then guess what happened? Right after that, like 2-3 months later, COVID happened.
I
was in Australia late 2019.
Okay.
And then December COVID happens, and then everybody had to come back, but because they put a whole lockdown in the whole country, but. You know, to each their own, but at least I got this. I could say I saw Australia. Maybe I'll visit there 10 years from now, and I'll be like, oh, now it's changed. But so far, it was like, man, this is still an underdeveloped country.
For me, like the city like looks similar to Toronto, but like I was not used to a city like Toronto. I come from Europe, where like the architecture is completely different.
100%.
So I went over there, saw like big buildings. I was like amazed by that, and then went back to France, and then I had like another experience after like finishing my MBA.
Do you have an MBA?
Yeah.
Oh,
After
wow.
like
You have an
finishing my
MBA?
MBA, yeah.
Where'd you do your MBA?
I did my MBA in Paris in one of the like very
So
good
very
schools.
educated man out here. Huh?
I've traveled like I went to the States for school. I went to China to study.
You speak Chinese?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just went over there to pass my exams, learn school, and then come back.
So you did your MBA where? In which university?
Schema.
Okay. Got it. So you're back now in France?
So after that, look, back after Australia, back in France, like that's where I lived in France, in Paris. Moved to Paris, did my school over there, MBA. And then after my MBA, I was looking for like a new experience abroad, and then I had an opportunity to work for an American company in UK, which I went there, and then like it took some time, and I started working for another company. So I lived in Birmingham for, I would say, almost a year.
Okay.
And at the time, I was training with ILYA'S.
Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was part of the same team training with them.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for a year, then we moved back to France. And when I went back to France, I was like, okay, you know what, like, I'm bored. I was working with people who were like at the same position for like 15, 20 years. And in my mind, I was like, okay, that can't be it. Like,
You don't want to be behind a desk. Yeah.
I was like, I don't like to think that, okay, you reach the ceiling, after that there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Now like you're just in the
You're always
comfort
looking for
zone.
more and more in life.
I was like, when I went back to France, I had like a good life. I was like, my house was like by the beach. I had like a motorcycle, a car, like the weather was good. I was in a relationship. I had my family. And then I was like, nah, like I need
something more.
I need more. I know I can go and reach like something bigger than that.
Nice.
So that's when I decided to leave and
What year was this in Birmingham? What year were you in Birmingham?
I was in Birmingham in 2015.
And this is when Edwards wasn't even big, like Leon Edwards.
No, he was like he was starting at UFC. I think he had like maybe like first fight.
Did you ever spar him?
Yeah.
Oh, you sparred him?
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So essentially after that, how did you end up in Canada?
So after moving back to France, like after seeing that, like I was like getting in a comfort zone, and I was like, you know, there's like this say that like comfort is the enemy of growth.
100%.
And I felt like I was in a very like comfort zone, and I was not growing. And that got me like frustrated, and I thought, okay, I need to do something. So that's when I decided to quit my job, quit my girlfriend, quit everything, and then start from scratch here. So I booked a hotel, got my like
how
a
was that
visa.
heartbreak? Like, how'd you just break up with her? Like, how was that? How was that conversation?
Oh, it was
tough,
oh,
no?
man, like we don't have time for this.
No, we do, man.
It was like difficult for my people, for people around me to understand my motivation to leave. But I just felt like I had like the need to discover.
And this was
the
a
world.
Moroccan girl, or this was a kind of French girl?
She was French Italian,
Okay.
and we were like together for like a couple of years, and.
You said, hey, I'm bouncing.
And I said, no, like I need to leave, and I need to do it alone. I need to go and like
Pursue my dreams.
yeah.
That must have been heartbreak, eh? Crazy heartbreak.
It was not easy.
Yeah.
But that was necessary.
What does a man do when he's going through heartbreak? What's your advice for the people that are watching? Somebody gets dumped by a girl, or just things don't work out and they go their way. How does he get over the feeling?
Oh, that's pretty easy. Like you just stick to, and that's when like faith is very important. You just need to trust. You know, like there's like a lot of people say they believe in God and they have faith. But that's one thing I try to apply in my life, and I try to share the same like that message is that it's easy to believe and it's easy to have faith when everything is going well.
100%.
You know what I mean? You just need to remind yourself that this is when you need to trust. When like times are tough, when like more like life is more difficult. That's when you need to have like faith and believe more.
Today's video is sponsored by halalmatch.ca. If you are interested in and tired of swiping left, right, and want to do things the halal way, go check them out on www.halalmatch.ca. Now let's get back in the video. You know, in the Quran, right? I love how Allah says in the Quran, I'll put the verse, I don't remember exactly which verse, but Allah says that when you are in pain, you come to me and you remember me until I relieve you from that pain. And then when I relieve you, you forget me again. Imagine, Allah knows what it is to be betrayed, and He still lets you do everything. He still lets you sin, and He tells the angel of death, wait, he will come back, you'll ask for forgiveness. Could you imagine that?
That's the
Like
thing.
imagine it, like we talk about like heartbreak and betrayal in this dunya of a world, like some shorty or some whatever, right? Some girl or some bullshit relationship, situationship.
Yeah.
Some girl that's just taking advantage of you, whatever. And the real heartbreak of Allah who lets everybody do everything. And you don't even get up to pray for him. Like sometimes I think, I'm like, man, like how can somebody not love Allah, right? Like how can you not? Like how can you not? The person who allows you, and all he says is come ask for forgiveness, the doors are open. And he has an eternal life for you.
That's why not everyone has like
The
the
tawakkul.
exactly and
The conscientiousness is the main thing. Right? Like a lot of people say I believe in God. I'm like, do you really, when you live your day every single day, do you have conscientiousness that you're gonna meet him soon?
But that's what I like to do is when I see someone stressed or someone very like anxious or angry about something, that's when I'm like, hey, did you forget? Patience, you know?
Sabr.
Sabr. That's like the a very like powerful word.
I love that word, bro.
Yeah.
You speak Arabic too, right?
A little bit. Like
Okay.
I'm Moroccan, so my Arabic is slightly different, but like I get to understand a little bit. Yeah.
But you speak Moroccan Arabic.
Yes.
Okay. So you leave the girlfriend. You end up in Canada right after. Or how?
So I leave the girlfriend, leave my job, and leave everything, and then I booked a hotel for a week, and then like I got like a visa for work, work visa for 2 years, and here I am like in Toronto. First day I was like, well, what am I doing here? Why did I leave everything to be here?
Yeah.
And then that's where you need to trust.
Yeah.
And the fact that I believed in myself and I thought that like I could do something different as long as like I trust, that led me to here we are today.
But when did you come to Canada? What year was that?
That was 2017.
Okay. And then you worked as a boxing trainer here in the beginning?
So no, at first like I started working for like an IT company, and then I started working for American Express.
Yeah.
And
the one
my
on
job,
North York? The North York building?
Yeah.
The Consumers
Yeah.
Road?
Yeah, like
I have lots of friends that work there.
Yeah, I worked for American Express for like almost 8 years, over 7 years, and so I was more like a part of like the enterprise, working with like the largest company in Canada.
Yeah. I have a friend that used to work there, Sorhan Kadir. You know her? Sorhan?
Suran, yeah. So she's okay.
Yeah, that's my friend from childhood.
She moved in LA, right?
Yeah. She's
you
my
go.
friend from childhood.
Okay.
From Pakistan days. That's crazy.
That's crazy. So yeah, she's a good friend. I know. I know
wow,
her.
that's such a small world.
Yeah,
So
if you tell Ilya, she will know who I am.
Yeah, so that building, one of my ex-business partners had an office there, Ontario Consumers. They were in the same building.
Okay.
I used to be in that building all the time in 2015, 16, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I met up with Soren a couple times there.
So
I met up with Soren a couple times over there. That's crazy. Small world, eh?
That's
what
crazy.
A small world, eh? I just said the name and you're like, yeah, I know her.
Yeah,
So
no,
we
like
80 years.
we friends, like we really like know each
Nice.
other. That's
If you
funny.
speak to her next, be like, yo, Munib.
I'll tell her actually.
Yeah. Really good friend of mine from childhood. But anyways, going back to the story, so you were at American Express, and how'd you get up in
So
boxing?
I worked to American Express, and then like here, like when I moved to Toronto after. So at first I started like just like training on my own, and then I was like, okay, I need to find a gym. That's what I've done everywhere. I've trained like when I was in Paris, I was training with the MMA Factory, where like Cyril Gane and Ganou, Sami Sana, like in boxing, in Muay Thai, like this is like a gym where all the pro, like pretty famous gym. So that's why I used to train for like a couple of years. So when I moved to Canada, after like a couple of months, I was like, okay,
And train.
I need to train, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to sleep. When you're used to like
And when you're used to
box,
boxing, it's
you
therapy.
boxing, that's what you've done all your life, and then you stop. Or when you stop, like it's like you have that extra energy that
It's
you
therapy.
keep, and like you can't sleep.
Like I took 1 year off when I was going through my divorce, and I was just itching to come back.
Yeah.
And it was like I felt like, what am I doing? Like, and I've never felt so good until I return again.
Yeah,
Right?
to
Like,
me it's like therapy. You like if you boxing, you release all like this like stress or
energy.
whatever you have, and then you leave this place, you feel good. You know.
That's the way men release negative energy. We don't believe in
That's it.
depression. Yo, you're depressed. Go hit the boxing gym.
Yeah, just like sweat. You know,
Yeah.
box, punch.
Yeah.
So after like a couple of months, I was like, okay, I need to find a gym.
Yeah.
So I looked at like a couple of like different gyms, and I went to a gym where I saw a guy. I gave him his first boxing class in Australia
Yeah.
in 2011, and then I saw him like coaching in that gym. So at the time I was like, oh, how did you end up in that position? So which was funny. So because of him, because I knew him from a long time ago, I started like training in a gym, United Boxing Club, and then I started just like training there on my own, doing my thing, and then like the owner of the gym really asked me to help him, work for him and help him with like the competition team, help him like training fighters, and that's what I did. And we launched at the time the first like what we call like a 90-day camp, which was a camp where people start training after like 3 months. They basically, you go from like a complete rookie, complete beginner to after 3 months, you doing your first gala, first fight, official sanctioned fights against another gym.
In boxing.
In boxing, yeah.
Okay.
So we launched this like program of training.
And this was part-time while you're still working at American
That was
Express?
while I was working at American Express. At night, I was there, like, we're trying to help.
Yeah.
And so we did like this program. I have like a kid who like started training with us. After 3 months, he fought and did his first fight. Won by like knockout.
Yeah.
And after that, like 3 months later, we were like doing the provincials, and he won.
Yeah.
So within 6 months, we went from complete beginner to like provincial champion.
Yeah.
Which was a fun experience.
Okay. And how'd you end up here? How'd you end up with 161?
So I ended up with actually 161 because I've been so from there, like I started like coaching. For me, that was just something on the side where like I was having fun. It was good. That was also a good way to network and meet people. And then boxing got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I started like training like raptor players. I started training like different kind of people. I started working with like high like level athlete here like in Toronto, like working with like pro fighters.
Yeah.
And then it got bigger to the point where people knew me for boxing and more than like my actual job.
Yeah.
And I have like my best friend and business partner, Matthias, the guy who painted the
He's
the
an artist.
walls.
Yeah. I spoke to him.
So he was the one like every day telling me, man, like you got to do something. You got to do something. You can't just like waste all this like talent that you have and
Give it to
just
American
focus
Express.
on work on American Express, like trying to have like a 9 to 5 where you have a talent, people respect you for what you do. Go get it, go get that dream. And that's like that resonated in my head because I thought, okay, that's exactly what I did when I left everything to start like something completely new where people would think that you're crazy to do it, but you believe in yourself and you do great things. I thought at the time, okay, like we are in a position where we can do something great. There is definitely like a potential. So why not like go and chase that dream? And that's when we decided to open 161.
Nice. And this is only, what, 6 months in?
No, that's 3 months and a half, almost
Wow.
like 4 months in.
MashaAllah, man.
And we have already one of the best like we have like one of the best like pro team of the country. Amazing fighters. And we all share the same values, same principles, and that's something that.
So what are your
that's very
values here at 161?
Well, the values at 161, we want to be a place that is like welcoming. We want to be a place where like people like feel good. People here come here to like usually seeking for confidence. So the idea is to offer a place where you feel good, you feel welcomed, but not a place where there will be like a studio where there's no skills, where there's no talent. Like you still be you can be in a gym where like it feels good, the environment, the vibe is good, but like the skills out there and people like I hear they can be the nicest people, but at the same time they can be the fucking killers.
Yeah.
That's the mentality, right?
Nice.
Hey.
If you like this podcast and like more of our episodes, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now let's get back in the video. In the heart of downtown Toronto here, 161 Spadina. There's other gyms out here. I think, what's it called? Hard Knocks or whatever, that's nearby. And then I think there's one in Yorkville, Boxfit, whatever.
And then you have like Sully's, and then you have like a couple of like different other
so you're competing
gyms.
With all of them, obviously?
So I'm competing with all of them, but like I'm not. The thing, and what I realized in Toronto is that you have downtown Toronto, you have clubs like Sully's where like they have a very good like amateur program. People train over there and they know how to like raise a kid from like nothing to becoming a good fighter. But after that, like I don't think they have the structure to actually keep them. And if they want to turn pro, they have no choice but like to potentially like leave and like go with another team.
Yeah.
Then you have on the other side, you have like Hard Knocks where like this is more like a gym that is like positioned for like pro, right? So what we're trying to do here is to combine both. Yeah. We could do everything in-house. You can come here, start, learn how to box, learn how to be like a good fighter. If you want to compete, you will be able to compete and go get those like national like tournaments. And then if you want to turn pro, we have one of the best team in this company. And you can go from complete beginner to amateur to potentially be one of the like pro fighter for 161.
So this is your full time now?
This is my full-time job.
And you live downtown as well?
I live downtown and live like close to here.
Yeah. Okay. So what else was a big factor in your life? I know me and you talked off camera a lot about Islam. How did Islam play a big role in making the man that you are today? And how did Islam give you the guidance to take decisions in life and get here in a position where we are here today? Both in our mid-30s, what does Islam mean to you?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Any action, any decision that I try to take, I always take those decisions with like that structure in the back of my head, where those that meet my criteria, my principles. Yes, no matter what that is, because you can be tested for money or any like whatever that is, like relationship, whatever that is, friendship. That could be anything. And whatever I do, I try to do it always with this like structure at the back of my head, and this like making sure like I respect my principles, and that's what I've done all my life. I think that honestly, Islam is like there's a lot of people, and I had this conversation with my business partner where we spoke, and he's a guy that has like crazy stories. Like you start talking to him, that'll never end.
I spoke to him a couple times. Yeah.
Matthias, yeah. So crazy stories. The thing is, one time we were like him and I in Dubai on the balcony talking, and then he's like, yeah, but like, and we were like talking about Islam, and he's like, yeah, but why do you think like you need to follow this, and why Islam, and why? And I told him, like, look at yourself, and you the kind of guy who needs to learn from your mistakes. You need to make the mistake. Then you go back to, okay, I understand I understood the lesson. Now I go back to like my principles. Where for me, I had the blessing and the chance to avoid a lot of mistakes because
from the guidance.
Exactly.
Today's video is sponsored by halalmatch.ca. If you are interested in and tired of swiping left, right, and want to do things the halal way, go check them out on www.halalmatch.ca. Now let's get back in the video. Yeah, because Islam is a rule book.
That's just like a guidance. That's something.
Here's the crazy thing. Anytime I went against some of the rules that are in there, I got punished for it. That's the crazy part.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know deliberately doing what I'm doing is wrong, and I know I'm going to get punished, and I get punished.
You don't even know the number of times I've been in that situation where, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I know I'm doing something wrong, but, like, I know it. And later on, like, I pay the price for it, and I'm like, see, I knew it.
100% same with me.
Anybody, like...
It's like black and white.
Anybody that, like, in their life, they all had those situations where they're like, I knew it.
But us, we have the book, right? Like I always say, like I'm not perfect, but I know Islam is, and Islam for me had a major role in my life, man. Like I've been blessed to, I think, give another second chance in life. Like I had a crazy car accident. That's another story, and Allah punished me for certain things I did, and I knew that He did this because He wanted me to learn from it, and I also knew there was going to be a reward from it, which I did get later in life. The lawyer that was helping me in the accident is my business partner today. That me and him run the big company together, and Allah punishes you, but He also wants you to acknowledge the punishment. That hey, it's from Allah. Hey Allah, forgive me. I made this mistake. Give me something good from this mistake. I will come to you and I repent. So, and I always got tenfolds. Like one thing I always tell people is like, man, you give in the bank of Allah, you get tenfolds back. Like I've been giving consistent charity since 2009-10. Every Friday, it's like Jummah, every Jummah it gets withdrawn. I don't even look at it, and I only increased the amount as my financial success got better. And man, Allah's always taken care of me. I'm not stressed at all ever in life. Like I want money in this. And the crazy part is when I'm at my lowest, I'm at my best because the best version of you comes out to go and hustle.
For sure.
But like you said earlier, you said a quote. You said comfort is the enemy of
growth.
Growth, right? So a lot of people, they even make it, but once they make it, they get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Right? They get diluted because I personally think this dunya is a bullshit place anyways. Right? Like I literally have no attachment to this dunya anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm honest, I'm at that age. Wallahi, when I say this, my friends know this, I literally no fancy toy or anything gets me excited.
But that's the power and the strength of Islam.
Yeah.
Is that no matter what,
yeah,
so you can be almost like detached a little bit of this dunya, thinking, okay, no matter what, like everything is meant to be.
Like this dunya, like in the hadith, how it says that the traveler is traveling in the desert and he sees a palm tree, a date tree, and he rests on that palm tree for 20 minutes. That rest that he did is this dunya, the rest of the desert is the akhirah. Like I literally believe that this dunya is so BS, and I've seen many people die. I've buried a lot of my friends. I've buried relatives. Been to many funerals. I just go to funerals because I like seeing that body go down. Because when that body hits when the casket goes down 6 feet under, that's the only truth that's exists in this dunya. Everything else, other than that, 2 + 2 = 4, whatever we're doing, me and you talking, this is a fugazi. This is like an illusion.
Of course. But like
this is a deluded illusion.
That's the thing, and I like to have like something. I love debates. I love having talking to people, having like hard conversation about like a very specific topic. And I was talking to like a friend, and he was telling me, we're talking about like the States and like the past and all the wars, and he's like, and then he made a joke. He's like, if it was me, I would go to Saudi and I would take directly like their gas and like fuel or whatever, and I will like go and fight them. And I laughed. I was like, man, like you talking about all this nonsense, thinking that matters. I'll tell you one rule that is like effective to everyone. Like you're gonna die, and you're gonna leave everything you have behind you.
100%.
So that's the only rule that like everyone has, and you can't fight it.
Yeah.
It is a fact.
It's the only fact.
Yeah.
Like death is the only truth. There's nothing more just than knowing that death is around the corner. Like, what is it that I think? Correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently the angel of death is every day waiting to take your soul. It's with Allah's permission. Allah says no, not yet. But the angel of death is on standby to literally take your soul, right? To literally take your soul, and it's with Allah's permission that the angel of death doesn't take it. So I mean, to me, like that, when I see that casket drop. And when you're at I don't know how many funerals you've been to. I've been to many.
I've been to.
I get a hard on from going to funerals. Whatever crazy that, because it's like when you see that casket drop and you see like everybody has to leave this. Like the mother's there, the father's there, or the family's there. And then guess what? They have to go about their business.
Yeah.
They can't stay there. They have to go back to whatever they're doing, and you're the only one left there alone. And who knows what sins you're getting punished for in the grave. And some people say it's better you get punished in the grave because that's a lighter punishment than the punishment after. Right?
Sure.
Right? So it's like everything that I see is like that's the only truth. I'm at that stage where I'm like whenever I see a nice car, when I sit in it, whatever, I'm so unattached towards that feeling when when you're a kid and you're like, I got this thing, and you're like so in love with it. It could be the nicest car, and it's just some temporary fun.
But that's the thing. Like,
You know what I'm saying? It's like this is a delusion.
in a good or bad, or like if you're going through like a hard time, if you get something you always dreamed about, you always have some point like where you get like detached from it, because like you said, like we are not like we're just renting.
Yeah,
we're here for like a short time, and then
time.
we'll be gone at some point with nothing.
Yeah, borrowed time.
Everything that you have around you, everything that you worked for, you won't take that with you.
It's like most people, right? Like most of like our ancestors, like our fathers and stuff. They were told to work, and like one day have something for their kids. And a lot of these guys did that, knowing that the kids will leave them anyways. And it's like, but did you get to even live yourself?
But that's what I mean.
Right? Did you even get to live yourself as a man in that process? Like whatever the short time you had, did you get to make the right decisions? And that's how I want to live. Like if I'm ready, like I'm ready to die tomorrow. Knowing that every single day I gave my best, knowing that every single day I tried for better, knowing that every single day I strived for better, knowing that every single day I tried to do the right thing. We can only try. So again, I'm not saying I did it. I try every single day. I wake up with that intention. I wake up after Fajr with very active intentions, whether it's doing a podcast, going to business, working on my program, working on my coaching, working on the stuff we're about to launch. Am I doing it with intentional energy? But I know one day that, hey, I could be doing all this and it can go away, and that's okay too.
Of course, yeah.
And that's okay.
Of course.
Right?
What's important is like your intentions.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of our faith.
Action that does
Islam.
intentions.
It's like everything is based on like intention. If you have the right intention and you're taking actions for it, no matter what happens, that's out of your control. What's very important is like your intention from the beginning, and then you taking actions for it. That's it.
And you were telling me earlier off camera, I remember I spoke to you, you said you guys want to also do like some kind of Muslim program here. Today's video is sponsored by halalmatch.ca. If you are interested in and tired of swiping left, right, and want to do things the halal way, go check them out on www.halalmatch.ca. Now let's get back in the video.
Like what I want to do is I want to work with like the Muslim community. I want to use like this like platform. I want to use like this facility to also like work with like like exchange, learn, use like different network. You like really try to help each other. It's because that's something I think we kind of like lack.
Yeah,
and
I think we need to do it for the
better.
youth, right? Like for me, it's like when I see the youth today, they're so lost, they're so weak. They're being pushed the agenda from the West about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot. They want direction, but they don't have it. And I think boxing is a great way to get them on track. Boxing's done a lot of great things for me. It's kept me in shape, kept me focused, kept me and showed me how much grit I have and how much toughness I have inside of me, and how much I can push myself every single day. I think that these kids need that because they don't get that today. They get the wrong dopamine.
The boxing is like a life coach. Like you learn about yourself a lot because you learn how to you learn when you need to stay humble. You learn when your ego needs to hit.
Yeah.
You learn when sometimes you're gonna have situations where it's time to wake up. Like show that fire. Like don't be too nice. Don't be respectful. Be mean. Go for it. And then you're gonna have a moment where like you need to calm down a little bit. You need to stay humble. You need to go back to like working on like the basics. Like like not everyone like do that. Like you really need to take the time to go back to like basics or calm down, have like less ego. So finding that like that balance is not easy, and like boxing is like one of the best way
100%
to learn that, and you can apply that for everything else in life.
Who's that? Teddy Atlas. There's that famous reel where he talks about. I think he was with Joe Rogan, and he's like, didn't matter what was happening, didn't matter if whatever was breaking. I had boxing. It was when boxing was there, it meant I had justice. He talks about it, right? Like it's like it didn't matter what was happening in the outside world.
Yeah.
As long as I got to see true justice, which was only in boxing, you got to see a guy who did put in the hours, who slept better, who did this, and every single metric is calculated on that one given night. And he talks about how life will deceive you, but boxing didn't deceive him, right? It's beautiful. Like only boxing fanatics understand that. Like the average person does not understand that. You know what I'm saying?
You to me like
boxing's a crazy science, bro. Like in my life, the way my life works, just to tell you the kind of fanatic I am, It's like obviously Allah first, family second, boxing then, and then everything else. Boxing then, and then everything else, bro.
It's it is like a lifestyle, and like I said, like I've traveled in different countries. I lived in different countries, and I always stick to my routine, which was like having like work, whatever, making money, have like a house, but like boxing and training was every day necessary. Wherever like I was going, I had to make sure I find a gym, I train, and like that. Like I said, therapy. If you don't have that, then you're losing something. And when I moved to Canada and I stopped for like a couple of months, I felt like I was losing something, my balance.
So what's your goal for this gym, and what's your vision for 161 Boxing Club? What's your
My
future?
vision for this gym is to get to the point, like I said, to be like a hub where you can do it all in one space.
And do you want to add more locations, or do you want to just be this location?
So we want to we have like one of the largest like boxing facility, like downtown Toronto is probably like the largest. We have like some of the best prospect, like Jisoo, like Kabato, like Alfredo, like Mo Zawadi, who trains with me
He's
now.
signed with you now? Oh, I didn't know that. He was at Hard Knocks before.
He was at Hard Knocks, like left Hard Knocks. He's training with me now. Actually, I'm
Nice.
going to Miami with him soon, and he has a fight in July. Yeah. So we building a strong team.
Maybe I should get him on the pod too.
Definitely, he would love. I think he would be happy
an interesting
to do it.
conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I didn't know that about Mo. No, I've seen him fight at events. I've seen him at Lee Baxter promotion events.
He's a part of the team now.
Yeah, he's Lebanese kid, right?
Lebanese, yeah.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, nice man.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Pleasure.
And I genuinely wish the best intentions for you and your gym. Obviously, I'm going to be part of the journey, and I'm going to be watching this, and we'll be doing more content. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
brother.
Alaikum salam.
And that is the end of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. If you love our podcast and you love what we do, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you on the next episode. Have a good day.